drive here from Seattle, or pretty much right outside downtown Seattle, to Mercer Island. It's only 7.5 miles away, but with traffic and lights, freeways, it'll be about 15 minutes. But yeah, we're gonna sit back and see Tesla full self-driving do its thing. And the cool thing about this ride here is it's gonna have a lot of versatility for the most part, you know, going from kind of a busier city to a freeway to a bridge, to kind of a suburb-ish area to, you know, in the woods, so to speak. It's gonna have some different challenges for the full self-driving. It's a Monday morning here in Seattle, 9 a.m. So it's busy. Gloomy day. Lots of starts and stops. Probably a lot of merges on the freeway. Tunnel. One thing I like about self-driving, obviously you have to pay attention, keep your hand on the wheel, all that, but let you shut off your brain. You know, think about other things, think about nothing, maybe enjoy your coffee a little bit more. But instead of having to make all these little decisions, because what full self-driving is doing is making decisions constantly, you know, hundreds of decisions over the course of a rather short-term drive, and those are decisions your mind doesn't have to make. So it's nice. Definitely nice in that regard. Does go rather slow though sometimes. I mean, it is going the speed limit, but that can hold up like the natural flow of traffic, you know. Like that changed to a 25 mile per hour zone, so did the car, and the cars behind me, obviously, you know, that's not the natural flow of traffic. It's more like went out, changed. But yeah, that's one negative. It'll have to, full self-driving will have to evolve to where it can understand the natural flow of traffic, because there's a lot of times where the speed limit will change and the car will adjust, and it does it every time the speed limit signs change. And there's a lot of people behind you waiting, especially when you're getting on freeways, on ramps, stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be different modes you can select. That's like obviously like a chill mode setting. Wanting to go the exact speed limit in every situation, but there'll be a lot of circumstances where you don't want to go the specific speed limit. Alright, we're on the bridge going from Seattle to Mercer Island, or downtown Seattle to Mercer Island. Beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing. Not a very pretty day, but amazing area. It's changing lanes by itself. So I went on a road trip yesterday, probably did a total of almost 4 hours of driving. A lot of it was freeways. I didn't really have to make a lot of interventions besides adjusting the speed, which can be done from the steering wheel. And then sometimes the full self-driving would merge me into a faster lane, and I'd be like on the far left lane, and I'd be going so slow for the people behind me that I had to manually, put my blinker on. And when you put your blinker on, the car will change lanes. So you can pretty much be in full self-driving, and the only interventions you'll make for hours if you're on a road trip is just changing the speeds from the steering wheel, and then just maybe having more control over what lanes you want to change into based on other people's speeds and where you want to be in the flow of traffic, So I guess you could call those interventions because you're intervening, but I don't see it like that. To me, an intervention is when you have to like stop the car and get yourself out of full self-driving. Alright, we're on the island now. Gonna get off the freeway. Lots of tunnels. It handled that well. That car was halfway in my lane, halfway in his lane, and the car didn't come to a screeching halt. It took its time, kind of knew its space, knew its speed, knew its flow, like how long beautiful. I couldn't describe it, but handled that well. It was natural. Better way of putting it. I'm definitely going to make some videos, like giving my thoughts and opinions or reviews on full self-driving, but I had the free trial before. I never used it. Or I used it a little bit and I was like, this isn't for me. I had a bad experience, like a roundabout. I didn't like the flow. It didn't feel like very natural. You know, I had to like make a lot of changes, but if you let yourself get comfortable with it, you know, the first couple days you use it, you're not going to be comfortable. So you're probably going to be intervening a lot more than you need to. But once you get comfortable with it, yeah, it's something, especially since it's getting better and better and better. It's at this point for me, it's worth keeping. I wouldn't have been able to say that in the past. This is my second chance I've given full self-driving. All right, so this is the scenario I was talking about before. So 35 mile per hour zone. This is kind of like a mid-range. 35 miles per hour is the speed limit, but I was holding up a lot of cars there. So, yeah, there's a lot of like, when you're, let me just say this, there's a lot of times you'll have to change the speed manually because it'll be going the speed limit, but it won't be going with the natural flow of traffic, which right there it was. It changed to a 35 mile per hour zone, but that was holding a lot of people up and wasn't going with the natural flow. This is all here for full self-driving. I mean, it's going to match the speed limit unless you change it. Not a lot of people walking by, not a lot of cars trying to merge in front of you, not a lot of roundabouts. Pretty easy. Alright guys, we are gonna cut this video off now, but you got to see a lot of versatility there in full self-driving, different settings, and let's let it do a little bit more work, because now we're in a construction zone. Even though we're not going to drive through it, we're just going to turn in front of it. We got a truck coming. It's very cautious on these turns when there's oncoming traffic coming. You know, it's not going to slam on the gas and go for it. It's going to wait for the right time, but that's again what makes it safe. We got some people walking up here. It'll give them space. Sometimes if something's too close to the road, like a pulled over car, the full self-driving will move over a little bit without going into the other lane, which is great. But thanks for watching.